Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday morning. I didn't make a video yesterday because we got up early in the morning and we went to the Queen's Arms and we got our free breakfast, which I definitely need the free breakfast because my rent has gone up. I thought my rent was less than £500 a month, but it's not. It's more than £500 a month. So I need to go to these free meals because, obviously that's the only way I can survive. And so we got up and we went to the Queen's Arms and we got a breakfast. And basically you get a roll with like a sausage or a ham and an egg. And cheese. We got cheese this week on the roll. And then you also can have a pastry. So we go down there and get our free breakfast. And I don't have a cooker, so I can't make a cooked breakfast anyway because I don't have a good cooker. So it's good for me to get a cooked breakfast. And then after we had our cooked breakfast, we went to Sainsbury's and I got a few bits at Sainsbury's, and we didn't have to get anything for dinner, but we were just going to have a baked potato with cheese and coleslaw for dinner because we were going over to my friend who has had mental illness. We were going to go over to her house for spaghetti bolognese. And so basically, I think that my boyfriend is accepted that my Sikh friend's around because my Sikh friend was really upset, and he phoned me on Friday and he said, I was worried that you weren't speaking to me anymore since you got back together with your boyfriend. And I said to him, no, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. And he said, can I still come to your house? And I said, yes, you can still come to my house. And the reason why is because his home life is just absolutely appalling. And he's got 2 people living in his house. It's his house, but he inherited it from his dad. And he also had to give his dad money to get a divorce. So his dad wasn't lucky in love either. And his dad set him up in an arranged marriage. Well, I think that an arranged marriage is some sort of like a mail order bride. That's what I think an arranged marriage is. It's not, you don't actually know the person that you're marrying. And it's kind of like these TV shows like Married at First Sight, that you marry the person the first time you see them. And so he was in this arranged marriage, which it's kind of like Married at First Sight. He didn't even know the woman. It's like kind of like a mail order bride, that they send off to get this woman. But my Sikh friend told me that he actually went to India to get married. So he got married in India. And he was able to bring his mail order bride to the UK. But obviously she didn't want to be married because in India they really look down on people with disabilities. And from what I've heard is school and things like that, it's very competitive. So she came over here. I think she probably was coerced into marrying him. I don't think that she really wanted to marry him, but I think that her parents forced her to marry him. So she came over here to England, and she's not happy, and they had a daughter, and as soon as the daughter was born, the marriage was over. That she stayed in the house. She's staying in the house. She's lived in the house rent-free for 22 years or whatever. But the marriage is basically over. And so my Sikh friend's home life is appalling. He's got this arranged marriage, which was, I think you can just liken it to a mail order bride. And she's living in the house rent-free. She's got the run of the house, but she and the daughter don't speak to him. And so his life, he just stays in the front room of the house because he wants to see who's coming into the house and who's going out of the house. So he stays in the front room of the house so he can see who's coming into the house and who's going out of the house. And it's an appalling situation. And so I taught he's allowed to come to my place because his life is just so appalling, you know, it's so pathetic. It's even more pathetic than mine. So he's allowed to come to my house just to get some respite from this really pathetic existence that he has. And so he was really worried that whenever I got back with my boyfriend that I wouldn't speak to him anymore. And I said, no, I wouldn't do that to you. And he said, well, can I still come to your house? And I said, yes, you can come to my house, because he has nowhere to go. He's living in this house. It's a nice house. And in the front room, it's like a dining room or something like that. And all his things, he's moved all his things into the front room of the house. And he stays in that front room because he wants to see who's coming into the house and who's going out of the house. And so his arranged marriage wife and his daughter, they pretty much have the run of the house, but they don't speak to him and they don't contribute to any of the bills. And so that's not the way it's done in the UK. In the UK, it's like the man and the woman both work, and the man and the woman both contribute to the bills. But they're just living there rent-free. They're just, you know, scrounging off him, really. They don't pay one bill. He has to pay everything else. So, yesterday morning, after Sainsbury's, my friend, he came to the house and he got me some flowers at Queen's Arms. I can show you the flowers. Hold on. This is one of the flowers. And this is the second flower. And basically, they were giving them away free because they had passed their sell-by date. And because they had passed their sell-by date, they couldn't sell them. So they were giving them away free. I mean, I personally don't care if I get flowers or not. And the reason why is because we've got to carry them all around town. So like when we go to Sainsbury's, we've got to carry them. But my Sikh friend said that he would carry the flowers. And so, and then, so he won't take the bus. He won't take the bus. So I've applied for PIP. That's personal independence payment. So if I get PIP, I can pay for his bus pass. So he won't take the bus because he doesn't want to spend the money. He says it's really expensive and he doesn't want to spend the money. So if I get PIP, I've got my PIP assessment tomorrow, then I will pay for his bus pass so he can take the bus. You know, that's something that I'll do with the PIP. And then, so he walked over to my place. I told him I didn't want the flowers, that he could give them to this other friend, the friend that's got EUPD. He said no, he doesn't want to give them to her because he doesn't want her to get the wrong idea. And then I did suggest to him that maybe he should get her an epilator if he doesn't like her hairy legs. Maybe he should get her an epilator. And he said that, one, he didn't know what an epilator was. And I said, well, I'll take you to John Lewis and we can get you an epilator. And he said it wasn't just that. He said that he didn't like the fact that she's mentally ill. He doesn't want a woman that's mentally ill. Well, if you don't want a woman that's mentally ill, what are you doing frequenting mental illness coffee mornings? Because he goes to the depression expression coffee morning. That's for people who are depressed and have other mental illnesses as well. And he goes to this Compass Recovery College coffee morning. That's for people that are mentally ill. So yeah, if you don't want a mentally ill woman, don't frequent venues that mentally ill people attend. That's what I would recommend. And he said that because of her mental illness, that she's really unreliable and this, that, and the other. So it's not just a matter of having hairy legs, but he doesn't like her hairy legs. And so we took, my boyfriend and I took the bus to home. But you still, when you go to the bus stop, you still have to walk from the bus stop home. So don't think that my life is just being carted around from here to there, because I still have to walk to the bus stop and I have to walk home from the bus stop. So we got the flowers, and then basically I've got these two vases, which is I showed you when I showed you the flowers. And by the way, I can't write them off as an expense to the business because number one, I'm not monetized, I'm not self-employed, and number two, I didn't pay for them, they were given to me. And so you take the flowers, and I took the two vases, and then I had to cut the flowers up, and then there's some sugar or something that you put in the water, and then I put in my vases, because I don't want my vases to get dirty. I have some old plastic cups that you got from a pub. I've got those sitting inside the vases, whatever you want to call them. And so I pour water in the cups, so the water isn't actually in the vases, because I don't want my vases to get dirty and messed up with flour. So that's what I have. I've got a vase, and then inside the vase I have like a cup, a plastic beer glass, and then you put the flowers and the water in the plastic beer glass. And that's how I do it. And so I had to cut up the flowers and then put them in the vases. And then I took a picture of it and I put it on Facebook. But I wasn't able to say that my Sikh friend gave me those flowers. And the reason why is because some people had posted some mean things on Facebook about my Sikh friend. And the reason for that is because my boyfriend was so upset that he posted some mean things about my Sikh friend. And I would like to say that my Sikh friend is a very handsome man. And if he didn't have a learning disability, he definitely could have his pick of women, you know. And one person who I don't know how even he got on my friend list on Facebook, because he's actually a co-worker of my sister, but somehow or other he got on my friend list on Facebook, and he posted a few things. And then somebody at the church I go to, she posted a few things. And so basically word on the street is that I'm having an affair with my Sikh friend, but I'm not having an affair with him. I was just supporting him. And then so I actually had to go onto Facebook. One of the persons who said that about 3 in a relationship, I said I'm just supporting him. But I had to go on my Facebook account and I had to say to all my friends, I'm working on my relationship difficulties. I said that I'm supporting somebody with special needs, and it's not what people think. And then I said, thank you for letting me know what people are saying. So people are saying that we're in a 3-person relationship, which we're not. People are saying that we're in an affair, which we're not. I'm just supporting him. I'm just helping him. He doesn't have anybody else. And the thing is that he's got 4 sisters, and these sisters are all over the place. But one of the sisters lives like 2 streets down from me, and he's not allowed to go to her house. I don't know why that is. And then not only that, the partner of the sister went to his house, went to his shed, and stole his tools as well. So my Sikh friend's very paranoid, and I really am just supporting him. I'm just supporting him. Nothing else, you know. So I couldn't say on Facebook that my Sikh friend gave me the flowers, because that would just give people something to talk about. So I just took a picture of the flowers, and I said, well, this is what was given me at Queen's Arms, because I can't say that he gave me the flowers, because people will talk about that, you know. And I didn't really even want the flowers that much, because we were going to Sainsbury's. We didn't have any way to carry those flowers when we were walking in the Sainsbury's. And then so after that, my Sikh friend stayed a little while, and then he left because he had to go to work. And at 11:45, my boyfriend and I had to go swimming, because we found out that there's a swimming pool not too far away from where we live. So a long time ago, for like maybe the past 100 years, they had this Arthur Hill swimming pool, which was on the main road in the east side of the town that I live in. Well, they closed down the swimming pool, and I think they're converting it into apartments. And the town I live in, all the businesses are being shut down, and they're converting all these old business buildings into apartments. Okay, so if all the businesses are being shut down, who's going to be able to afford to live in these apartments? Yeah, that's what they're doing. And so now, when they closed down this Arthur Hill swimming pool, and there was people were trying to keep it open. People were campaigning to keep it open, but they eventually closed it. But then, not very far away, just a short bus ride away, they've got like a Palmer Park swimming pool. And then so in this Palmer Park, they got a swimming pool and a gym. So we went over to the swimming pool, which was the first time I'd been there. And it's £6.50 an hour. And because of the expense, I told my boyfriend that we could take it in turns paying, that he'd pay for 1 week and then I pay for the next week. So we're not burdened with the expense. We'll take it in turns paying. So that was my first time to go into the swimming pool. And then you had lockers, but you had to put a coin in the locker to lock your things up. I don't have a coin. We're moving into a cashless society. I don't have any coins. But so basically, because I didn't have any coins and my boyfriend didn't have any coins, we just had to take our things with us and put them on the side. So I had to keep watching my things to make sure that nobody went over there. So I've got to try to get a coin for next week. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I've got to try to get a coin for next week. If I don't get a coin for next week, then again, we're just going to have to watch our things while we're swimming. So that kind of like detracts from your swimming experience. So we swam for an hour. There were lots of children there. So I put on my new bathing suit, and it's just depressing, you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror. It's just depressing, you know. Yeah, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm postmenopausal or because I'm taking an anastrozole, but you look in the mirror and you just don't want to be alive anymore, you know. And so I told my boyfriend, I said, I know I don't look good, you know. I said, I know I don't look good. And, but we did our swimming, and then we took a little shower, and we didn't take a shower or anything in the swimming pool. We just took a little shower to wash ourselves off. And then we went home, and then I did some studying because I'm working on an intermediate Excel course now. So I have to actually study to prepare the course because I know how to use Excel, but I have to do all of the things in the lesson plan so I can make my video. And then I was exhausted, so I laid down and slept for maybe an hour, and then we had to get up and go see my friend she's got paranoid schizophrenia, but she's very highly medicated. She's very highly medicated. And she made spaghetti bolognese for us. And then we had spaghetti bolognese, and then we sat down in her living room, and she was wearing a sweatshirt. She was wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I said to her, I said, aren't you hot? Because see, in England, the houses don't have air conditioning. So because England, before now, for the last few years, England was a cold country. And so if you had a heat wave, you just sort of like put up with it because there was no point having air conditioning in a cold country. But we've had a heat wave since June, basically. We just know since May. Since May, we've had a heat wave. And I asked my friend, I said, aren't you hot? And I mean, I would collapse if I was wearing a sweatshirt. But because of her, she caused some issues. Because of her issues, she doesn't want people to see her arms. I don't know why that is. I don't know why she doesn't want people to see her arms. So she walks around in a coat even in the summer, and I couldn't do it. I suggested to her that maybe she should get some long sleeve shirts, but she just said it's more to it than that. So she sat there in this sweatshirt all night long. And then we watched TV for a little while, and I normally sleep. My boyfriend talks to her because she's lonely. She's living in supported housing, so she lives with other people. And since she lives with other people, she's got other people to talk to. And she's a nice person. She's a really nice person. And so quite often she'll stay home because she's got other people to talk to in their house. It's not like me. I live on my own. I have to go out and find people. And then we were coming home, and I've got a sore on my foot because I'm wearing these sandals, and they're just cheap sandals that I got from a charity shop. But a stone must have got in there, and it's hurt my foot. The sole of my foot, and I'm just thinking, I hope I don't get an infection, because a few years ago I got an infection and I had to go to the emergency room, and then we went to the out of hours GP surgery. And then when we went to the out of hours GP surgery, they gave me antibiotics, and because I'm diabetic, it's real dangerous if I hurt my foot. And then so basically what happened was now I was walking barefoot all night long last night because I didn't want to hurt my feet any more than they already are hurt. And so this morning my foot still hurts. So I'm just hoping that I don't get an infection, because if I get an infection, I'll have to go to the minor injuries unit or the out of hours GP service and get some antibiotics for my foot. So it's so dangerous when you hurt your foot. And then so we went to bed and took a bath, washed my hair, and you can see this morning I'm wearing one of the tops the dress that I got at Pound Plan. And normally I would wear a black t-shirt underneath it, but it's so hot that I decided I can't wear a black t-shirt underneath it. So I'm just wearing it like this. So if I look tacky, well, sorry, I can't do anything about that. And then so basically what I did this morning was, this is already in the morning, what I did this morning was I checked my blood, and I think my blood was like 8.6 or something like that. It's definitely in the 8s. And then yesterday, my blood was in the 9s. It was 9.3 or something like that. And the thing is that I had pancakes at McDonald's, and then I had like a baked potato for dinner, because I had pancakes at McDonald's and a baked potato for dinner and some other carbohydrates. It caused my blood sugar to go up to the 9s, which it shouldn't be. And then so I tried really hard, so basically I can't have pancakes because pancakes will make my blood sugar go up. And then so yesterday when we were at the swimming pool, I was hungry because we had breakfast, and then we didn't have any lunch. We just went swimming. So I hadn't had anything to eat for 5 hours. And if you're diabetic, you're supposed to eat every 3 or 4 hours anyway. And so I was so hungry by the time we had gotten out of the swimming pool. They were selling ice cream. So I asked my boyfriend, I said, would you like an ice cream? So I had to pay close to £6 for 2 ice creams. But I had to do it because I was so hungry. I didn't want to eat the ice cream. I was just so hungry, And then that was just enough to get me home. And then when I was home, I was eating at home too. I had some sausage that I microwaved, and chicken patty that I microwaved, and 2 tiny little pancakes. And I was thinking to myself, and then so, that's the problem when you're diabetic. You're supposed to eat every 3 or 4 hours. And I hadn't eaten for 5 hours, and my body felt it. My body felt that it hadn't eaten for 5 hours. So I didn't know what my blood sugar was going to be this morning, but it was in the 8s. But I have to try really hard to get my blood sugar down. It'd be nice. And then it's upsetting, I mean, I look okay. You see me here on the video, and you just see my face and everything, and you think, oh, she's not bad. But believe me, because I'm taking an Anastazola and because I'm postmenopausal, I don't look good in a swimming suit, Makes you really sad and depressed, and it makes me feel like I don't want to take the Anastazola. I'm thinking to myself, well, if I didn't take the Anastazola, maybe I wouldn't be so fat, because that's one of the things about Anastazola, is it makes you fat and you gain your weight around the middle. So I don't know what I'm going to do. And then so this morning we're going to go to church, and that's going to be fun because people in the church are saying things about me and my Sikh friend, but it's not what people think. I'm just supporting him. I really am just supporting him. That's all. In fact, tomorrow night we're going to go to Risk, to this depression expression meeting, and I'm going to have to show him how to get there. I'm going to have to show him how to get to Risk. So he's going to come over here, and we're going to take him to Risk. And then on Wednesday, I've been invited to a cheese and wine party, but it's with mentally ill people. So we're going to have to bring our own food to the cheese and wine party because these mentally ill people are on psychiatric medications, and when you're on psychiatric medications, it makes you just want to eat. So there won't be any food when we get there. They will have eaten it all. So I told my boyfriend, I said, we're going to have to go to Marks and Spencer's and get some sandwiches to take to Marks and Spencer's to eat, take to the party to eat, because there won't be any food when we get there. So we'll have to go to Marks and Spencer's to get sandwiches and something to drink and maybe some crisp to go to this cheese and wine party, because they will have eaten all the cheese and wine. And then that's another issue. I've got to try to sort out my prescription, because now with the doctor's surgery that I'm registered at, it's all computerized. So when you phone them up, you don't get to speak to a person. You speak to an AI assistant. I did get a message saying that they processed my prescription, but then I'm going to have to ring up Boots and ask them if they've got my prescription. And Boots doesn't pick up their phone either. So it's just a nightmare. You don't get to speak to a person. The doctor surgery doesn't pick up their phone anymore. It's all AI. Boots doesn't pick up their phone anymore. And you don't get to speak to a person. So if you've got a problem with your prescription, what are you going to do? You know? And so I do have a problem with my prescription. And then also I need to pick up on my next prescription. I've got to ask for the lancets and the strips for me to check my blood. Because my diabetes has gotten so bad that now the NHS gives me free glucose monitor, lancets, and strips, which I didn't get before. So now you know what I did yesterday, what I did this morning. You know that I went swimming. We're going to start swimming every week, I think, and we're going to take it in turns paying so one person isn't overburdened with the cost. And then, you know, I've got a sore on my foot. That's very dangerous. My foot actually hurts right now, but it's very dangerous to have a sore on your foot. So I've got to keep an eye on that. If it gets infected, I've got to go to minor injuries unit or out of hours GP or something like that to get that sorted out. And then you know that I'm going to church and people are talking about me and my Sikh friend at church. So that's going to be interesting. And I'm not going to stay. I'm just going to go to the church and I'm going to leave after the service. I'm not going to stay for a coffee or anything like that. I'm just going to leave because if people are talking about me, I don't want to stay. So that's it for this video. You know what I did yesterday, why I didn't make a video yesterday. You know what I did this morning. Tomorrow I have my PIP assessment. I don't know how that's going to go. So wish me luck. And thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for taking an interest in my very pathetic life.